What is up, Jabber Nation? First off, how you guys like our new setup? You guys like it? Tributes. He doesn't play anymore. Probably never will play. It's okay. But on a serious note, want to send a special thoughts and prayers with the victims of Las Vegas, especially the victims who were from North Dakota. I think it was Andrew Goodmanson. Hope you make a speedy recovery. It's very scary to hear about it on. I heard about it on Bob and Sherry. I was confused of why it happened, what motive the guy had behind it. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
But our thoughts and prayers are with Vegas and all the families involved in that.
Had a nice moment at the Dallas Stars game yesterday. It was Vegas's first professional hockey game, so they had a nice moment of silence before the game for that. They do have a hockey team now. It's their first year. I forget what the hockey team is called. I just simply played the Dallas Stars like yesterday. Las Vegas something, I don't know.
It's a hockey reference. That doesn't happen much on the show.
Right?
So.
And why does Vegas have a hockey team? Why does a desert
Vegas?
Why does desert have a hockey team?
It's Vegas.
But when you think of desert, you don't think of ice hockey.
Right, but
it makes sense.
It's the marketing, everybody. Vegas. I'm just saying.
Get in the Raiders pretty soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Vegas Raiders. Yeah.
Good.
Hopefully they play better than they are this year.
Well, if Derek Carr could stay healthy, proving that yes, he is deserving of the highest paid contract.
That guy, huh?
I'm out 2 to 6
so
weeks.
What does he think of that? Is he going to comment on this episode? I wonder.
I don't know, but Derek Carr is doing his best Tony Romo impersonation.
Yeah, big contract and injured for the second straight year.
Yeah, like I said, 2 to 6 weeks. I'm not sure when he's going to be back, but still, not great for the Raiders. Now they're relying on EJ Manuel.
Yeah, and I got Marshawn Lynch on my fantasy team. Probably not going to do much.
I don't know what their upcoming schedule is like.
It's pretty rough. It's
yes.
pretty rough.
Yes. Yeah, we'll come back to football here in a second. We got to talk, come back to that. First, though,
Cavs?
We haven't talked about this because we haven't had a show since then, but D. Wade gets bought out by Chicago. Chicago buy out his contract and goes to the Cavs. Can't really say I'm surprised by that.
No.
With his buddy LeBron. And they're already apparently having a great time making videos, things like that. So, yeah, they're having a blast. But okay, so now you look at the Cavs roster. You have LeBron James.
Yep.
Kevin Love.
Yep.
Dwayne Wade.
Yep.
J.R. Smith.
Yep.
Derrick Rose.
Yep. Tristan Thompson. And there's others that I'm blanking. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, I'm blanking
Jay
on these
Crowder.
names.
So, if you look at it, they have a pretty stacked roster.
Yes.
The only issue is 3 of those big-name players are all injury-prone. D. Wade, Derrick Rose, who has glass knees.
Isaiah Thomas.
And Isaiah Thomas. So, now you have to think, okay, if all healthy, if their entire roster is healthy, how do they stack up against the Warriors? And healthy, well, for one, you don't know what Derrick Rose you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the MVP level Derrick Rose.
He is playing with LeBron, though.
Yeah, and when you look at Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, this effort team is going to be great for him because they need rest, especially Dwayne Wade.
Yep.
He's coming on the tail end of his career. He needs rest. This roster provides that ability for him to get plenty of rest. So when it comes to the postseason, he'll be fresh and ready to go. Because make no bones about it, the Cavs don't really care too much about the regular season. They want just enough wins to get into the postseason, and that's when they'll actually start to care. And with the way the East is set up, they don't really have to care about the postseason because they could sleepwalk their way into the finals.
Right.
So, now how do they stack up against the Warriors? Because, once again, that's probably who they're going to play in the finals. Yeah, Thunder got Melo, and the Rockets, got Chris Paul. It's probably going to be everyone staying healthy, the Warriors. So we're looking at the 4th straight years of Warriors and Cavs. How do the Cavs' new roster stack up to the Warriors? And should everyone be healthy, I think it'll be a significantly better matchup than it was last year. Even without Kyrie Irving, I think the roster they have now, because Dwayne Wade, I mean, he's proven he can be clutch.
Yeah.
So that will come in handy because LeBron James kind of been known to shy away from those clutch moments. So D-Wade will be there to pick up any slack there. Derrick Rose, like I said, depending on which one you get. If you're getting that, MVP Derrick Rose, be great. Now, if you're getting the same New York Knicks Derrick Rose, where he's hurt the entire year, it was basically a bust.
Yeah.
So, and then Isaiah Thomas, just all depending on how the hip is. Is he healthy? If he is, that's him and Kyrie could be, easily supplemented. So, I think should everyone be healthy, I think the Cavs could give the Warriors a pretty good run. They could potentially upset them, but it's still the Warriors' championship to lose.
Yeah.
Because they still have the best team overall, even with where the Cavs are at. But I think the Cavs will be a much better series this year than it was last year, where the Cavs really got.
So, just thinking of this matchup in my
thoughts.
Yep, this matchup in my mind, trying to
Into
think
that
of
crystal
all
ball.
the matchups. Crystal ball, which is my bald head. I guess my thing is, yes, on paper the Cavs got significantly better than last year. They were talking about bringing Tristan Thompson off the bench and putting Kevin Love at center, and that. Again, that's another question. Which is the Timberwolves Kevin Love going to show if his offensive output can show up? Because that's something that was missing last year.
He had flashes of it, but it was never for a sustained period.
Yeah, he wasn't consistent. And then the other thing they have going with this team now, you have Wade, which I would say they probably have good chemistry between him and LeBron because they played in 2 years in Miami. Or 3.
Like 4 years.
4 years, sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're best friends off the field, so yeah, their chemistry is going to be an issue.
All that rapport, and then like you were saying, if Derrick Rose is waiting for a time to turn on the MVP rose again, he's with probably the best team he's been with in his career and one of the best players.
Easily.
So.
And then as far as chemistry goes, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Tristan Thompson, or J.R. Smith, and Isaiah Thomas all went to the Indians-Yankees game, a couple of days ago together. So they're already trying to build that chemistry, together, build it off the court, reflect on the court.
Yeah, that's because we all know when Isaiah Thomas is healthy, he's a stud. He's one of the top players in the league when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, yes.
Yes, and the positive they all have going is they're playing with probably. Some will say one of the best. I'll say the best player right now in the NBA because all he can do, LeBron James. He makes how many players around him he makes better. And you saw that when a lot of the players from that team that he took to the finals when Love and Kyrie got hurt and they went on their separate teams, they weren't that good. I would say this is probably the Cavs' best chance to potentially dethrone Golden State. If they can all stay healthy.
Now, if the Cavs win, that means for the past 4 years had the same matchup and they split 2-2. Do we need a fifth matchup to determine who are the ultimate winners?
We may as well if it ends in a if it ends in a tie,
Yeah, the Cavs are okay. Now they're each 2-2. It's like now we need another rematch.
Yeah,
but the thing is, after that, there's so many different after the season, there's gonna be so many different variables with all the free agents out there. So going into next season, it might actually be somewhat interesting as far as two challenges too. Now the Warriors are going to collectively basically stay together.
Yep.
The Warriors aren't going to be dismantled. It's now, what are the Cavs going to all look the same? And what's Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, all them going to do? Westbrook locked up. He's staying with the Thunder for 5 years.
I was intrigued in that.
Which was a little,
surprised.
But then again, like we had talked about, he kind of in a way had to just because of all the smack he talked about Kevin Durant leaving.
Yep.
So he basically lived his words like, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to see what we got. Okay, but granted, you're going to lose Paul George in the year. Melo,
he might come back.
He has a huge option that he's not getting.
Yep.
So he'll probably just opt into that to get that huge payday. But George is gone.
Even if they make it to the Western Finals,
George is gone.
if they make it to the finals,
I think he's gone.
if they win the championship,
They win the championship, I think he'd be more willing to stay, but anything less than that, I still think he's gone.
so
He has his sights so much on LA that I think he's gone. And he's already basically told the Thunder, it's like, hey, this is going to be a fun year, but
Right.
after this, I'm going to see what options I
Yeah.
have, which is just a nice way of saying, don't
peace out.
get too used to me, I'm not going to be here for very long. So at the end of the year, he's gone. He's going to go to whatever team he wants to go, which is probably somewhere in LA.
So my thing with the Thunder, I will say they have potential to give Golden State a run because I think a lot of people aren't on my same pheromones with they're not pheromones but wavelengths with this with Melo. Sure, he sucked with the Knicks, but he put up good numbers, but nobody paid attention because he played for the Knicks, and they were historically awful. So what will that do for his game now that he's playing with reigning MVP, Russell Westbrook, and he's playing with Paul George on the best team of his career? Could we maybe see a resurgence of the Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony, who was just a stud? That's my other question.
It's definitely a possibility. But, I mean, so now do you think Paul George, Westbrook, and Melo are enough to go against Durant,
Steph.
Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson? So are those three enough to match the four?
Yeah, it's...
Because I don't know. I mean, you're immediately down one.
Right.
They have the big three. The Warriors have the big four.
They have a potential big four. You could make the argument they won the finals last year with a big two with Durant and Steph, the babyface assassin.
Yeah.
So I mean, the West is gonna be interesting, man. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the West is the only thing to pay attention to.
It's gonna come down to because then nobody's even talking about the Rockets. I ultimately think it's gonna come down to how fast these players on these new teams can gel. That's going to be a big thing.
Also, that's where the Warriors have the advantage. They've been together. They're already gelling. So how long does it take the Rockets and Thunder to gel? And by then, is going to be enough time to be able to dethrone the Warriors, who are playing with basically the same team they have. And like I said, the West in basketball this year is the only thing to pay attention to. The East is going to be incredibly boring.
Because a lot of people don't realize Durant worked for Golden State because that's a pass-eccentric offense. They make the extra passes. So he fit right into that offense. It wasn't like it was a legitimately set offense.
Yeah.
They led the league for, I think, last year and the year before in assists because it's a pass-first offense.
And then it's going to be interesting to see how Westbrook, George, and Anthony work together because
they're all scorers. They're all the top dogs on their teams, too.
Are they each going to be able to get enough shots?
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting to see. Westbrook or Harden and Paul, I think they'll be fine.
I think they're going to
gel fine.
very well.
It just matters, do they have enough to be able to compete with the Warriors? But I don't think they do.
I don't even know if they have enough to compete with OKC. It's just a big two. You could factor in Trevor Ariza, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, like I said, it'd be interesting. And then we haven't even mentioned the Spurs.
But Spurs and T-Wolves had a pretty good offseason.
Yeah. Like I said, I think everything is so West-centric in the NBA.
There's literally nothing East. You're going to look for the only East games you look forward to are Celtics Cavs.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Outside of that, who really cares? Nothing else going on in the East.
No, it's pretty sad.
So, I mean, that's it's kind of, something the NBA kind of has to look into. Is like, I know the numbers don't show it yet. People are still watching, but isn't this going to get boring to fans?
If it's a Cavs-Warriors finals this year again, I will be surprised to see how the viewings will be for the finals.
Like, people are fans of any East team, whether it's the Sixers, the Hornets, the
small market teams. They already
Heat,
know they aren't going to do much. They don't
you know,
have a shot.
are you paying to go to these games? And what are you
Right.
willing to pay? I mean,
Yeah.
So that's, you know, kind of interesting to see, you know, what is the attendance going to be like with these these places? Because, you know, even the Bulls, who are a bigger market team, but their team is garbage.
They're on
Who's
pure
gonna
rebuild right now.
You know, how filled are these stadiums going to be?
Yep.
You know, so that's going to be interesting to see because, you know, in a big market like Chicago, I mean, you expect, you know, and New York, you know, but both teams are terrible.
Awful.
So, I mean, what are you really expecting? And do it, like, next year when there's a bunch of free agents, who's really going to either of those places?
Yeah, it's the small market thing again that we were talking about before.
Well, I mean, even Chicago and New York are in small markets, but the teams have been so bad.
Yeah,
who's
gonna
going
want-
there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
the Bulls, your main selling point is, hey, this is where MJ played. So, like it or not, if you come here and you're a high-profile player, guess who you're constantly going to be compared to? So, do you want to come to Chicago where you're going to be compared to the greatest player of all time? If you don't live up to his the expectations or what he did, you're going to be considered a huge disappointment. Or, hey, come to New York. We're a horribly dysfunctional franchise that hasn't done anything in the past couple of decades. Why don't you try to turn it around like Carmelo Anthony failed to do and Phil Jackson failed to do? We have nothing to sell. You get to play in an iconic stadium. That's about it. So, I don't, you know, and plus, you know, you have all these players that they're all friends. So all these free agents next year, basically, you know, once they're free agents, are gonna get together, like, hey, who do we all want to go play for?
Yeah.
So it's just like,
It
who do
could
we want
come down
to
to
who do we
that.
want to buddy up with to go
Yeah.
play, and where do we want to go, you know, play at? That's unfortunately what the NBA has come down to, which is
Chasing
terrible.
rings.
But then again, people aren't tuning away, so why are they going to change anything?
Exactly. Yeah.
Until people start tuning away, stop showing up to games, and NBA gets hurt in the pocketbook, there's going to continue to let this happen, which is horribly unfortunate because, once again, there's only like 4 or 5 teams that have a legitimate shot to do anything. But really, there's 2 top teams that we look at, and it's like, this is what the finals are going to be.
Yeah.
It's been the past 4 years.
Mhm.
It's going to be like this again for the 5th year.
Yep.
And who wants that? Who wants 5 years in a row of the exact same
Maybe some
matchup?
people do. Cleveland and
Well, yeah,
Oakland fans do.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. But, like,
I don't.
outside of that, yeah, you have your bandwagon fans that'll jump on whoever's winning, but then you have, like, the regular fans, like, 5th year again of this?
Ugh.
Why? Why? And, like, the East, why are we watching any of these regular season games? Can we just skip the playoffs? It's going to be, the Cavs are going to win. They're gonna destroy the East. Can we just put them in the finals? Let's let them have their 6 months rest because they complain about not getting enough rest as is. So let's get them into the playoffs. That way we can have, you know, a fully healthy Cleveland Warriors team. Just, you know, skip the regular season. Let's just go right to the finals. Let's button this NBA season up right now.
Wow. I mean, let's do it. You pretty much know it.
Yeah, and then the players get the rest that they so desperately need and want, apparently, because God forbid they play 2 games in a row.
They play back-to-back games in hockey.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
hockey's a much more physical sport,
I'm
but
just saying.
and I don't hear the hockey players complaining about it.
No.
They go out and play.
Yeah,
They'll
they don't
smash
play-
each other into the boards
Yeah.
and whatnot. And
Play
they'll
the next night.
NBA, playing 2 games in a row, my knees cannot handle this. I need at least 5 days rest before my next game. I'm getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, and these people are working regular 40 hours a week at jobs every day that are getting paid, you know, a 1/15 what I'm making, and they don't complain. But I'm gonna sit here and complain because I need my rest. Yeah, I hate it when players complain about stuff. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. Why don't you just shut your mouth and play?
I'm with you.
Yeah, that bugs me.
I'm with you. Yeah, I agree.
Playing a game that I played for free all the time as a kid.
No, I used to play NBA Hang Time.
And I would go out and play.
Yeah, me too.
Not on
yeah.
a game. I mean,
Yeah.
unlike kids today that forget that you can actually go outside and play.
Oh yeah, that's a
No,
superpower.
I went actually outside with friends
Oh,
and
yeah.
actually, you know, took an actual basketball,
Oh yeah.
dribbled it, and shot it in the hoop. Not, you know, A, B, okay, left, A. Yeah, score! Best athlete ever. No, that's not what I did. I went out and we played, And we played tackle football. We didn't play this flag football or two-man touch. We weren't concerned about concussions and CTE. No, we just went out and played. We hit each other all the time. It was fun.
Love it.
Yeah. I miss doing that. God, I need to go out and play some football again.
That is the John Lancer rant at its best. Proud father. I am. Yeah. Very proud of him. Doesn't do it much, but when he does, I'm proud. Great.
Gotta
Good
get me on the
talk.
right topic.
Good talk. So what about Pillsbury Doughboy? Sorry, that's another topic. Sorry. Won't talk about Pillsbury Buca de Beppo or Krispy Kremes or Home Depot or Bellagio Fountains or the euthanation of Lucinda, the hippo of the Bellagio bottom fountain. Anyway, sorry, that's a different
Let's
topic.
talk
It's
about that.
another day. Sorry. So NFL.
Got some surprises in the NFL. We're a quarter of the way in now.
Already, that's sad.
Oh, it's only 16 games. So
Yes.
yeah, just like this Sunday is like the. Yeah, we're a quarter of the way in.
It's really sad.
Think about how many games they've each played. But yeah, some surprises in the NFL. I guess.
So who you got?
Well, we'll start with the champs, Patriots. They
Sorry, Chris Weish.
they have not
Sorry,
looked the
Chris
best.
Weish.
I think
No.
beginning of the year we're thinking, God, they're just like
You're gonna run
cruise
through it.
I mean, people people were talking like 16-0 or whatever.
Mm.
They're 3-2,
Yeah.
and that defense is not looking good. I mean, granted,
Ooh.
the Buccaneers probably should have won that game had they had a field goal kicker that knew how to kick a field
Oh,
goal.
I felt so bad for them.
Yeah, but for some reason, any kicker they get,
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but it's something with that stadium with the kickers, but no, they can't make a field goal. So I mean, he missed 3 field goals, which okay, so that's 9 points. Add 9 points to their score they ended with, they would have won. But the Patriots, their defense has looked terrible. I mean, it took a last-second drive by Tom Brady to beat the Texans, who was starting a rookie quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean, they could have very easily lost that game, and then they'd be looking at being 2-3, or 2-3.
Yep.
And going into this week, they were 3rd in their division.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And we're talking like how they're gonna have like 7 bye weeks, this year with the 6 games played against the division and then their actual bye week. But yeah, they were gonna be in 3rd place. Now, granted, once again, the Patriots are kind of like the Cavs, like okay, we don't really care about the regular season.
Yeah, they're all about
once
playoffs.
we just need to do enough to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the playoffs, okay, that's when we'll shine. But the Patriots have legit concern about their defense. They're letting up a lot of points. I mean, nobody fears that defense right now. And then Tom Brady is getting hit a lot.
Madden curse?
He's already been sacked as many times this year as he was, I think, close to last year. So I mean,
Madden curse?
he's getting hit a lot. Now, granted, he's bounced back up, over
Oh,
time.
yeah.
But we're still early in the year. If this trend continues and he keeps getting hit like he is, how quickly is he going to get back up later on in the season when you've played so many games and your body's starting to wear down? So that's offense line is something they need to look at. He hasn't quite gelled with his receivers yet.
No.
That will come in time. Him and Brandon Cooks, I'm sure will find, but he misses Edelman. Definitely, you can see that. That I'm sure about the defense. I mean, that's something they are going to have to really address.
Yep.
Because they don't look that good on defense.
No. Sorry, Chris Weish. It's just the way it is.
No, I mean, like I said, the Patriots they're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna be fine. They just, right now I don't know if you can put them as like that clear cut champion that everyone kind of had. Because right now I think they look very vulnerable.
Yes.
Playoffs, yes, but I think they look very vulnerable in the playoffs.
Yep.
So that's my first disappointment. Who do you got here?
Going with the Pats. I mean, pretty much echoed everything. I guess I'm more surprised that their defense is the bad part because all the money that they spent and all the so-called high-class players that they got. They got Stephon Gilmore from Buffalo, and I think he even got burned on a few routes on Thursday. And that's my big thing, I guess. No, I'm a firm believer in defense wins games and championships, and I think if you listen to our show of the past year, you've seen I've said that with Green Bay and other teams. You can have the greatest quarterbacks, but my gosh, you got to stop the offense on the other team. You know, is Brady now getting into the realm of Rodgers where he has to play well every game for them to have a shot at winning? Because they gave up 30-some points to the Texans with a rookie quarterback, and then they got beat by Cam in Foxborough. And I think they put up 30-some points.
Yeah.
That's 60 points right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's... And two, we said the thing, too, if Gronk's hurt, well, Gronk's hurt again.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming a pattern with him, as he gets hurt a lot.
And that's one of Brady's safety nets, and he doesn't have much chemistry with these other wideouts, except maybe Chris Hogan.
Amendola's been there for a while.
Amendola, and then you got James White out the backfield and Deion Lewis, but...
Well, Deion Lewis is just coming back from injury, so he's still kind of incorporating himself into the offense.
So, it's... I don't know, I guess I expected them to be a one-loss team or undefeated team based on all they brought back, and... I don't know, and you can't look him in the eye and tell me he doesn't miss Julian Edelman.
Oh, he does.
That's a safety blanket.
I think he'd be the first to admit it too.
Yeah.
And then, another disappointment too. I kind of called this at the beginning of the year. Everyone was pretty high on them, and I never quite understood. And that's the Giants.
Yeah, I gotta eat that Wheaties. I was pretty high on the Giants, and they're 0-4.
Because
I look great with that pick.
I didn't pick them to go to the playoffs. I was wondering why everyone was so high on them. And
I thought Eli was gonna resurrect.
They haven't won a game yet.
I did.
But remember,
he's gonna resurrect it.
They have not won a game since the infamous boat picture. Oh. No, that probably doesn't have anything to do with this year. But yeah, they're 0-4.
Eli does not look good.
No aspect of their game looks good at all.
The only thing that looks good for them so far is their D-line. Iffy.
Yeah.
Iffy.
Yeah, so 0-4, they're essentially out of it. They're not
that's one of my picks gone.
Yeah, they're not coming back from that 0-4 deficit.
Nope.
They're not making the playoffs.
Nope.
That would be an historic run that they'd have to go undefeated the rest of the year. Not going to happen.
And is Marvin Lewis gone? The Bengals are 0-4 also.
No, they beat the Browns. Oh, they did. Yeah, they're 1-3. But then that's the bad thing when your signature win is against the Browns. It's not good. But now they looked a lot better against the Packers. But once again, we had talked about they were playing a terrible defense. So and they had the lead, and then they blew the lead. Yeah. So that looks bad. Then they do finally beat the Browns. So take that for what you will. But like I said, I still think that Marvin Lewis's time there is coming to an end.
I think this might be his last year.
Oh yeah, I can't foresee him being too much longer. But then again, in that division, the Ravens haven't done much. The Steelers
looks terrible.
The Steelers been
struggling.
Struggling. They're kind of this when everyone thought their offense would be really good, but Roethlisberger has not looked good.
And did it have something to do with Bell missing as much time as he missed?
But Roethlisberger has been seeing his receivers open, like Antonio Brown in this whole temper tantrum last week because he was open and Roethlisberger didn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
So he threw a cooler and shoving, his coaches out of the way or, whatnot. And then Roethlisberger calls him out this week on radio. So, he kind of puts Antonio Brown out there. It's like, how is that going to kind of, relate there? So, the Steelers are, supposed to be a pretty decent team, especially offensively, and they haven't looked at much.
No.
And, a surprise, on the positive side, surprise, Kansas City.
Undefeated.
Yeah. Taking it to the Patriots, opening night in Foxborough, and they have looked fantastic. And Alex Smith has gone from this game manager to being like a legit downfield quarterback. And I think maybe he feels kind of that pressure of them drafting a quarterback so high, like, they're kind of already planning my replacement.
Yep.
I'm not ready to get this up yet. So, maybe it's that, but they've looked very good.
Undefeated team left.
If you look across the NFL, they're really the only team that really stands out.
Yeah.
No one else.
Head and shoulders.
Yeah, no one else really does.
No.
So you have the Raiders too, with Derek Carr being hurt. What are they going to do in these next? If he's out 6 weeks, what are they going to do for those 6 weeks? can EJ Manuel do enough to
I'd
basically?
be nervous if I was a Raiders fan.
Oh,
right
and they
now.
should be.
Oh.
Then the Packers, not they have good offense, but once again their defense is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings, Sam Bradford's hurt. They just lost the running back
Dalvin Cook.
He's done for the year.
Yep.
So that's a few
huge.
Vikings fans who they're basically conceding. Yeah, our season's basically done now.
Yep.
That was fun. While it lasted. And then, the Eagles have looked decent. They don't have much in the way of a defense.
No.
Their offense has been as good as you would expect it to be.
Yep.
Redskins, I think Cowboys have been a disappointment.
Yeah.
They've kind of fallen back to earth.
Yeah.
So like I said, it'll be a great matchup this weekend with the Packers and Cowboys.
That's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. I'm a little nervous about that one just because, like I said, the Packers defense is garbage.
If they can contain the running game, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, and that's been kind of one semi bright spot on the defense, and I say semi bright spot because they've done fairly decent against the run game.
Yeah.
But just like I said, I don't know why teams still run against the Packers. Just pass it, you're gonna be fine.
That's what I don't get.
So can they stop Jason Witten?
Mm-hmm.
He stops himself.
Yeah, if you get in his head, he
has a tendency to drop some passes. Yep. So, like I said, he can stop himself. But then depends which Cowboys team shows up. Is it gonna be this great team for last year? Is it gonna be kind of this overrated team for this year?
Yep. I don't know. I'm gonna actually go kind of surprisingly with a surprise team. Everybody's talking about the Chiefs, but I'm gonna talk about Jared Goff and the Rams. They're 3-1.
Yeah. That West Division.
Look pretty good, the Rams do.
Seahawks was everyone's kind of consensus pick to come out of the the NFC this year for a Super Bowl. They might not even come out of their division.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, LA might kind of want to pay attention to the Rams.
No big deal, LA fans. They're 3-1. They have a second-year quarterback, and he's playing pretty well. And he was a big bust candidate last year.
They wanted a good team.
Yeah.
So they're actually pretty good. You got to watch out for them, and especially that division. They could potentially win that division. They have a very good offense, and their defense is pretty good. Can they make that last the entire season? We'll see, because that head coach, it's kind of weird how their coaching system is set up. Their head coach is basically just offense, and he leaves the defense to Wade Phillips.
Yep.
He basically pays no attention to the defense. He just checks in with Wade every once in a while, hey, how's it going?
I thought that was big, them signing Wade Phillips.
They'll show him on the sideline while the defense is out there. The head coach is sitting on a cooler looking over the offense. It's usually he's paying attention to the Eagles. No, I'm basically just offensive coach. Head coach / offense, and then Wade Phillips in defense. Obviously, leave that to him. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
So, Rams are that is a very good team looking right now.
Surprise pick. And they have, I always say you need few things for a rookie-ish quarterback. You need a good running back. They're always having a pretty big year.
Yes.
You need a good defense. They have one of the best front sevens in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams do. So.
And he's got a very good wide receiver.
Watkins. He's kind of resurgent his career. So we get a good test this weekend to see what the Rams they play Seattle.
So that's gonna be a very good game. And if I'm the Seahawks, I would be worried.
I'd be nervous.
Because, Seahawks, your offensive line sucks.
And the Rams have a stud D-line.
Yeah, so your hope is kind of that Russell Wilson comes out of this game unscathed.
Does some Houdini magic or something.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
See, that's going to be, fun to see that matchup. Because that could go a long way to, if the Rams win this.
That could be a big boost.
Yeah, it could be a big boost. They could look at, starting to make their claim as, nope, this is our division now.
Yep.
Because, the Cardinals, no, they're not. They're not doing anything there. And, we've mentioned many times the 49ers being rebuilt.
0-4. They had 13 penalties last weekend.
They are competitive.
And they are competitive.
That's what you have to look at.
I will give them that.
When you're in a rebuilding mode, that is what you have to look at.
As long as they don't get killed in the game, I've been happy so far.
Right now, it's not about wins and losses right now for you guys. It's about are we competitive?
Be in the game.
And yes, you are being competitive. That's what you have to build on.
all I care
But so
about.
yeah, it's going to come down to the Rams and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yay! If you look at which team right now is looking the best, that's the Rams.
The Rams.
Seahawks have looked questionable.
They don't even have a for sure running back in their.
Oh yeah, the Seahawks are rotating
like
between four.
Lacey, or is it Rolls, or is it McKissick, or you have like 3 different running backs.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there. But, yeah, so we'd love to hear your guys' comments. Who you guys think the biggest surprises, biggest busts? What do you think these different teams do have to win? Patriots fans, we want to hear from you guys, the defending champs. How confident are you guys right now with your team, particularly the defense? Do you think you guys have enough to still make it to Super Bowl and win? It's kind of interesting to hear about that. Leave a comment below. Let us know. Subscribe on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Once again, anytime you can either leave a comment on YouTube or leave a comment on our Facebook page. Always check that. If you have any questions, we'd love to answer it. Love to hear from you guys.